Hello everyone, I am Smriti Rohit from ARIT Charosat University, and today we are discussing about task characteristics influencing motor learning. So our objective is to understand what is task, how task characteristics influence motor learning, and which are the factors that change the task characteristics. So first we will discuss about the challenge point framework. So CPF is a model that used for the promoting motor learning and had the base on the three types of the factors, that skill level of performer, task characteristics, and task environment. So in these three factors will affect the motor learning of the patient or the person. So in this session, we will discuss about the task characteristics only. So the what is task? A piece of work which involves learner in the understanding, manipulating, producing, or interacting in the target language, while their attention is principally focused on meaning rather than the form. So the importance of task in learning is task is the most crucial component in the study of the human performance and behavior. So the variability in learning schedule in which a task and its variations are interweaved during practice has been shown to help the transfer of learning into motor skill acquisitions. So as the therapist, we have to discuss about the task, that which type of the task will improve the patient's conditions. So we have to think about the task when we will decide the treatment protocol. So the motor task variations and variability act on the acquisition of motor skills and leads to the facilitation of transfer of to novel motor tasks. So as first topic is the task variability, that is a characteristic of the task, and the task variability is defined as frequency of unexpected and novel movement that occurs in the task process. So the variability in the task may be most essential when the learning tasks are likely to be performed in the different situations. So it may goes with the task variability that it is needed for the patients. So the high variability means that individual cannot typically predict problems in advance, and that tasks are the uniquely for the different patients and the persons. So the variability practice is better choice for the therapy sessions, since it is a more giving the better performance. So here we are giving the patient to the sit to stand activity, and here the sit to stand activity with the different types of the chair and the different types of the height of the chair. So if we are the patient giving the different type of the task variability for a particular task, that will enhance the performance and learning. So because of the she has the opportunity to practice from different variety of chairs with different heights. So different characteristics are there, and this will develop the schema for the sit to stand activity for her ability. So to carry out the task in novel and unfamiliar environment, that it in the home there is a different kind of the environment. So there is a different type of the sit to stand activity will be done. So if we are giving the this type of task variability activity, so motor learning will also perform, and the practice performance of the patient is also enhanced. So the motor variability. So it is the schema theory, that the motor variability based on the schema theory of motor learning that propose that the practicing the with the motor task variability is not only the important for the learning, but it is also the facilitate the learning of the skills that are does not they require the motion analysis as motion variability. Next topic is task difficulty. Before the task difficulty, we have to understand the two different type terminology is the learning and the practice performance. So that for the learning is a relatively change in the knowledge and the behavior, and it is for long term. When the performance refers to the temporary fluctuation in knowledge. So it behavior can be based just only for the practice performance. So it is not observed during for long term. It is just short term. So the based upon that, the task difficulty is the physical or cognitive challenge posed by the motor problem, and the task difficulty is variable that is implicit in almost every investigation of motor control and learning. So for the task difficulty, the two factors are very important. That is the individual factor is a psychological factor and mechanical constraint. For the psychological function, that patient perceive the difficulty of that task. So it is a psychology of the patient. Where the mechanical constraint, it is a degree of the freedom that patient thinking about the how much their mechanical and freedom they have. So they can do the task in completion. So the task difficulty, it is more likely that if task difficulty increase, the learning potential will be improved. But if within that, the task difficulty will be increased, so expect there that is the performance of the patient will be deteriorate. So there have two types of the task difficulty. The one is nominal task difficulty and the second one is the functional task difficulty. So the nominal task difficulty is due to the characteristics of the task only, and the reflecting constant about the task variability. So the different difficulty of the particular task within the construct of the and experimental protocols that depends of the nominal task difficulty when it is include the perceptual and motor performance requirement. That is the mostly the patient what perceived from the task and the motor performance. So it is called the nominal task difficulty, and we will give the patient with the nominal task difficulty. Like if we are increasing the task difficulty only focus on the task, so it will be the nominal task difficulty. So here we can see that the therapist is giving the throwing and catching activity of the task with the patient. So if we are giving the nominal task difficulty, the difficulty is mostly by the task. So characteristic of the task, if we will change, like if we are giving the ball different type of shape or heavier, so it will goes the most difficulty of the task. So in the difficulty of the task with the nominal task, the the patient perform well in different, but it will not suggest the patient will improve the learning, but it will improve the practice performance. So the next is the functional task difficulty. The difficulty due to the person performing task and environment. How challenging the task is relative to the skill level of the individual performing the task and to the conditions under which it is being performed. So as we can see that the therapist giving the throwing and catching activity is same before, and here they are giving them multiple directions. So if the patient have a difficulty with perceived difficulty, like if their direction will be changed, so task environment, if we can give the task environment also change, like if we are giving them the community, it will more increase the task difficulty. And same with the skill of the patient, as the patient have a acute stage condition, so it will more difficult for the patient than compared to the normal person or the later stage conditions. So the functional task difficulty we are giving with the three factors. So if what happened when the functional task difficulty with beginning level of the performance and directly we are giving in the higher level of the task difficulty. So we have to think about the task, like how we can give them the appropriate treatment session. So in this, we can see the chart that is the relation that's showing the relationship between the performance, like the in the x-axis it is a task difficulty, and in the y-axis it is a practice performance. So it is a relationship between the practice performance and learning, and with compare with the task difficulty. So here we can see the black solid line is for the practice performance. So it is an easy task and it is a difficult. So if we are saying the easy task, so performance will be the highest. But if we are the difficult task giving, so the performance will be the lesser or deteriorate. So from easy to difficulty, if we are see, the practical performance will be deteriorate. And there is the optimal challenge that will be the most complete the task, where the dotted line is giving the knowledge about the learning, retention and learning. So if we are giving the task difficulty will be increased, so the first starting with the learning, the patient learn enhance and up to the optimal challenge. But optimal challenge, after that we are giving the most difficult part that will practice performance and learning, both will be deteriorate. So we have to think about the easy and task difficult about the patient's learning and practice. After this, somehow the after some difficulty, the both practical performance and learning will be deteriorate. But after the long-term enhancement, the learning will be occur with the task difficulty. Then same chart, but there are the two different types of person, or it will be patient. Expert means like if we are giving the later stage patient or the normal patient, and the novice means beginner patients or beginner or the normal person. So we are giving them the practice performance and the chart is task difficulty. So the different types of task difficulty for different person. So if they are the expert person are there and they are have a low level of task difficulty, but that is the task difficulty before for the novice person, it will be the high difficulty because they are not done with the task difficulty but easy. So we have to think about the novice and expert. Like the patient have a beginner condition, so we have to think about the conditions wise. Like if we have to give the easy task first, and then gradually we will improve the task difficulty. So it will go the learning enhancement after the some practice condition. So how task difficulty might be increased to facilitate training for the long-term success. So there are the parameters that improve the task difficulty. It will be increased or decrease. So the type of practice, like frequency of feedback. So frequency of feedback will increase or decrease the difficulty. So how, if we are giving the patient asked to hold the glass, and we are continuous giving the feedback, so the patient have a decrease task difficulty because he can able to do with the feedback. But if we are if we are not giving feedbacks, so task difficulty will be increased for the patient. Same for the time constraints. If we add the time constraint to the task and impose, so the task difficulty will be increased, and the will, if with the time constraint is absent, so it will be decreased. Same for the contextual interference, like which condition they are performing the task. If they are performing the task with the blocked practice, so task difficulty will be decreased. But if we are giving the task with random practice, so if patient have not any prediction about the task, so it will be the random and it's more difficult for the patient or the person. So the same for the consequences of poor performance. If the patient have a poor performance with high, so task difficulty will be increased, but poor performance will be low, then task difficulty will be decreased. Same, these types of the factors are affecting the task difficulty, and it leads to motor learning. That task difficulty will be increased, so the learning and can enhance the performance of the patient. So what did we learn in this session? What is the task and different types of characteristics, the how we will improve the task characteristics in the above in our rehabilitation part. So we are giving the treatment protocol with different types of tasks. So I have concluded with this. People need adversity, setbacks, and perhaps even trauma to reach the highest level of strength, fulfillment, and personal development. So in the same vein, variation in the form of the opportunity and challenge are required to achieve the higher level of this motor learning. Thank you.